Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we are going to start the first unit of class 11th, that is unit and measurement, in which we study different types of unit and various types of methods of measurement that use in our everyday life. We also discuss about the need of measurement and unit. So for extra study material like assignment and notes, you can also visit our website newerasolution.in. Let's start the video. So the very first term we are going to study in this chapter is physical quantities. So physical quantities are those quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly. So anything that can be measured by a device, a formula or anything, it is considered as physical quantity, like temperature, time, speed, distance, etc. Then we categorize these physical quantities in two categories. The one is fundamental quantities and other is derived quantities. So fundamental quantities are those quantities which is considered as basic quantities, like which are independent and do not depend on other quantity for their existence, like time, distance, mass, temperature, etc. So these are some quantities which are completely independent in terms of their measurement. Second, the derived quantities are those quantities which are dependent, and they are dependent on fundamental quantities like velocity, acceleration, momentum. These are some certain quantities which we obtain with the help of fundamental quantities. Now we discuss what is a measurement. So measurement is basically comparing a physical quantity with its own kind when we have a standard value. Like if we are covering a distance and we have to express how much distance we covered, then we use a specific standard term, that is meter. So we calculate that meter number of times and express our distance, like 5 km and 6 km. So for measurement we require two important things. One is a number and second is a unit. So the expression of measurement for a physical quantity is also expressed as Q is equal to NU, in which Q representing the physical quantity, N representing the numerical value and U represent the units. So units are basically those quantities which we are used to express the measurement of any physical quantity. So without units we cannot express the measurement. Like if we have to calculate the mass and we are saying the mass is 5, so it will not make any sense. Either the mass 5 kg or it will be 5 gram. Then it is easy to understand about the measurement of quantity. One more thing you have to remember: to measure a physical quantity we can use a number of units. Like for distance we can use meter, centimeter, kilometer, millimeter, etc. But by changing the units, maybe the numerical value will change but the measurement of physical quantity remain same. For example, if a length is 5 meter, then we can express that same length in centimeter and then it becomes 5000 centimeter. So in both the case the numerical value change from 5 to 5000 and the unit change from meter to centimeter, but that particular physical quantity is same, it will not change. Then we can say the measurement of any physical quantity will remain constant. It will not depend the choice of units, because by changing the units numerical value will change but their product remain same. So we can say that product remain constant always. So by using this formula we can also convert one system of unit into another. Like physical quantities, the unit of physical quantities are also categorized in two categories: the fundamental units and the derived units. So the fundamental units are those units which are used to express the fundamental quantities. Similarly, as fundamental quantities, these units are also independent, they cannot be derived. They are used in a standard form, like second for time, meter for length, kg for mass. Then we have drive units which are used to express the drive quantities, and these units are derived from fundamental units. As we know, to measure any physical quantity we require units, and those are fundamental and derived, and basically derived units are also obtained from fundamental units. Then if we make a certain set of group of fundamental units, then we can express all the physical quantity whether they are fundamental or derived. Then it will form system of unit. So system of unit is basically that set of fundamental units which we use to express the measurement of any physical quantity. So we have three system of units, CGS, MKS and FPS, which consider three fundamental physical quantity, length, mass and time, and have their different unit according to their respective system. So in CGS system, the unit of length is centimeter, then the standard unit of mass is gram, and the standard unit of time is second. In MK system, the standard unit of length is meter, the standard unit of mass is kg, and the standard unit of time is second. In FPS system, the standard unit of length is foot, the standard unit of mass is pound, and the standard unit of time is second. So in these three systems, three fundamental physical quantity have three fundamental units, and they are also not universally known. Then we have another system of unit which is universally accepted, and that system is known as SI system of unit. So SI system of unit, which is also known as Standard International System of Unit, is a scientific system which have 7 fundamental quantity and some supplementary physical quantity. These 7 fundamental quantities are length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity and quantity of matter, and their SI units are length measured in meter, mass measured in kg, time measured in second, temperature measured in Kelvin, electric current measured in ampere, luminous intensity measured in candela, and quantity of matter measured in mole. So these are the 7 fundamental units which are used to express these fundamental quantities. Then we have some supplementary physical quantity like plane angle, which is measured in radian, then solid angle, which is measured in steradian, and then data, which is measured in byte. So this system is universally known system which is understood by each and every person. The SI system also has certain advantage over other systems. First, it is universally accepted. Second, it is a rational system of unit. That means a physical quantity maybe have more than one type, but their SI units are same. Like there are so many types of energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, electrical energy, chemical energy, but their SI unit is joule. Third, the SI system of unit is a metric system of unit in which the conversion of SI system or the extension of SI system is done in the power of 10. The next advantage is SI system is a coherent system of unit in which we can form the drive unit by simple multiplying and dividing these fundamental units, because drive units are used to express drive physical quantities. So as we discuss various system of unit including SI system of unit, but then again there are some practical common unit which we use to measure a physical quantity. First of all, we discuss some practical units of length which we use in different manners. Some units are used to measure very small length and some are used to measure very large distance. So the first unit is Fermi. So the 1 Fermi is 10 raised to power minus 15 meter. It is the size of a nucleus, so the size of nucleus measured with Fermi. Then another unit is angstrom. So 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. So the angstrom is a unit which we use to measure the wavelength of light. The third we have micron. So 1 micron is equal to 10 raised to power minus 6 meter. So micron is a unit which is used to measure very thin particles. Then to measure the large distance we have unit light year. So light year is the distance covered by the light in 1 year. So 1 light year is equal to 9.5 into 10 raised to power 15 meter. So this is the distance covered by the light in 1 year. So that unit is used to measure the distance of planet or stars. Next we have astronomical unit. So astronomical unit is the average distance between the sun and the earth. So 1 astronomical unit is approximately equal to 1.5 10 raised to power 11 meter. So this is also a unit used to measure large distance. Then third we have another unit called parsec. It is a biggest unit of length. It is defined as the distance at which the arc of one astronomical unit subtend an angle of 1 second of the arc. So 1 parsec is equal to 3.1 into 10 raised to power 16 meter. So these are some practical units used to measure the length. Like the length, mass and time also have some practical units. Like to measure atomic mass, we use a unit called AMU, that is atomic mass unit. Besides from that, we use metric ton, quintal, etc. Similarly, to measure time, we also use some practical unit like solar day, solar year, leap year, lunar month, etc. As in unit and measurement, we already discussed various types of unit. Some are considered as fundamental units and some are derived. But when we convert one unit into another or any practical unit into SI system of unit, in that case we have to use some higher or some lower power of 10. So there are certain symbols which we can use to replace the power of 10. So first of all we have the higher power of 10, that is 10 raised to power 1. It can be replaced by deca, symbol DA. Second, 10 की power 2 replaced by hecto, symbol H. Third, 10 की power 3 replaced by kilo, symbol small k. 10 की power 6 replaced by mega, symbol capital M. 10 raised to power 9 replaced by giga, symbol capital G. 10 raised to power 12 replaced by tera, symbol capital T. 10 raised to power 15 replaced by peta, symbol capital P. 10 raised to power 18 replaced by exa, symbol capital A. For example, if we have 5 into 10 raised to power 6 meter length, then that length can be replaced by 5 mega meter, because 10 raised to power 5 replaced by mega. Similarly, to replace the smaller power of 10, we have another system, that is 10 raised to power minus 1 replaced by deci, symbol small d. 10 raised to power minus 2 replaced by centi, symbol small c. 10 raised to power minus 3 replaced by milli, symbol small m. 10 raised to power minus 6 replaced by micro, symbol mu. 10 raised to power minus 9 replaced by nano, symbol small n. 10 raised to power minus 12 replaced by pico, symbol small p. 10 raised to power minus 15 replaced by femto, symbol small f. And 10 raised to power minus 18 replaced by atto, symbol small a. For example, if we have a length 10 raised to power minus 12 meter, then that length can be replaced as 3 picometer. So these symbols can use to simplify the expression. So now let's discuss about the various types of method which we use to measure any physical quantity. So the methods of measurement categorized in two parts. One is direct method, another is indirect method. So direct methods are those methods in which we use any device to measure that physical quantity. For example, to measure time we use watch, to measure temperature we use thermometer, to measure speed we use speedometer, etc. But the indirect method are those methods in which we use certain formula calculation to measure that physical quantity, like sonar method, radar method, etc., in which distance is measured by using certain calculations. So now let's discuss some direct and some indirect method to measure length. So let's first discuss the direct method to measure length. So we wrote three devices: meter scale, vernier caliper and screw gauge to measure the length. First, the meter scale is the device which is commonly used by the students or at home. In this device, the length from 0.1 centimeter and above can be measured. Then vernier caliper, screw gauge and spherometer. These three devices you discussed in practical of your school. So vernier caliper is a device which can measure 0.01 centimeter and above distances. Then screw gauge or spherometer can measure 0.001 centimeter and above distance. So these least value of these devices also known as their least count. So the least count of meter scale 0.1 centimeter, it cannot measure below 0.1 centimeter. Similarly, vernier caliper have least count 0.01 centimeter, below that it cannot be measured. And screw gauge or spherometer have least count 0.001 centimeter, below that it cannot measured. Now let's discuss some indirect method to measure length, like sonar method, radar method, laser method, etc. In these three methods we use a same concept with the different waves, in which a wave is emitted from a source which strike to the obstacle and return to the observer by covering the same distance twice. So the net distance covered by the wave is 2x with velocity v in time t. So t is the time of observation from source to object and object to source. Then velocity is total distance upon time, and distance is equal to velocity into time divided by 2. So for different wave, the velocity is different. By putting the value of velocity, we can calculate that unknown distance. So in sonar wave, which stand for sound navigation and ranging, we use sound waves to calculate the distance of unknown object. This method is commonly used in ship or submarines. Then radar method, which is stand for radio detecting and ranging, in which radio waves are used to calculate the distance of unknown object. This is commonly used in planes. Then third is laser, which stand for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. In this, light waves are used to calculate the unknown distance. So the next indirect method to measure length, basically based on a phenomena related to our eyes, called parallax. So parallax is an apparent shift in the position of a stationary object when it observed from the eyes one by one. So if we are observing an object with our left eye, then we observe the same object with our right eye, and left one is closed. In that case, the position of that object appeared to be shift, yet the object was stationary. So that concept can be used to measure the various distances. To illustrate the phenomena, let we are observing an object A with our two eyes, left as well as right, then the separation between the 2 points of observation which are symmetrically opposite is called basis, and the angle formed between two sides of vision theta is known as parallax angle. So by using parallax angle and basis, we can determine the distance in parallax method. So the first application of parallax method is that by using it we can measure the size, or we can say the diameter of a known planet or moon. For example, if we have moon whose diameter AB we are going to measure, then from the earth at point P, by using telescope we can observe the diametric point of the moon by which there is an angle formed, that is theta, where d is the linear distance which is approximately equal to the distance between moon and earth. Then as we know, angle is equal to arc upon radius. By using this concept, that angle is equal to the arc, that means the diameter of moon, upon the linear distance small d. So the diameter of moon is equal to the linear distance into the parallax angle found by a telescope. So by using the value of angle and the distance, we can find the diameter of moon or any other planet. Now the second application of parallax method is that by using it we can measure the distance of an unknown star. So to illustrate that, let we have a star S whose distance small d we are going to measure. For that we have to take a polar star with respect to which we can measure the parallax angle for that unknown star. So let P is a polar star and S is the unknown star whose distance we are going to measure. So let at a certain point on earth we measure the angle theta 1 by observing the unknown star with respect to polar star. Then after 6 months from the same point on earth, which is now symmetrically opposite to its initial position, we again measure the angle between unknown star and polar star, that become theta 2, because we know the polar star remains stationary at its own position. So by measuring these two angles, we can measure the final angle theta, which is parallax angle, is equal to the sum of these two angles. Then again we got two symmetrically opposite point of earth A and B whose distance is assumed to be d, where d is approximately 2 astronomical unit because earth revolves around the sun. So d approximately taken as 2 astronomical unit. Now again by using the concept angle is equal to arc upon radius, so the angle is equal to capital D by small d. So the distance of a star is arc upon angle. Now both these value approximately we already know. By putting this value we can calculate the distance of an unknown star. Because both of the problem now resolved, now we easily get the parallax angle and we easily get the symmetrically opposite point on earth. In parallax method there is also certain limitations, like this method is not used to measure the distance which is more than 100 light year, because from the formula we observe as the separation increase the parallax angle will decrease. So more than 100 light year make a very small parallax angle which is almost negligible. So to solve the numerical based on parallax method, there are certain units of angle we have to know. As we know, the SI unit of angle is radian, but there are also some other units of angle like degree, minute of arc and second of arc. So we have to know the conversion rate of these units into the standard unit to calculate our answer. So the first unit is degree. As we know, the pi radian is equal to 180 degrees. So 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. By putting the value of pi, that is 3.14, we can obtain 1.7 into 10 raised to power minus 2 radian. So 1 degree is equal to 1.7 into 10 raised to power minus 2 radian. Then the second unit is minute of arc, and we have the relation is 1 degree is equal to 60 minute, and 1 minute is equal to 1 by 60 degree, or pi by 180 into 60 radian. So by putting the value of pi, that is 3.14, we obtain 2.9 into 10 की power minus 4 radian. So 1 minute of arc is equal to 2.9 into 10 raised to power minus 4 radian. Then the second of arc is the third unit of angle. So 1 minute is equal to 60 second. So 1 second is equal to 1 by 60 minute, and 1 by 3600 degree, and pi by 180 into 1 by 3600 radian, that is equal to 4.8 into 10 raised to power minus 6 radian. So by using these conversion, we can convert any unit of angle into standard unit of angle, that is radian. So I hope today's topic is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can write in comment box, you can email us, or for further study material you can also visit our website newerasolution.in.